Everyone thinks a portable AC is a quick fix for summer heat, but here is the thing. Most of them underperform unless you set them up right. The surprising truth is that a 12,000 BTU sticker doesn't tell the whole story, especially on a single hose unit like the SereneLife SLACHT128. In my tests, the headline numbers only mattered after I handled airflow, sealing, and hose heat. Stick around because what I discovered changed how I evaluate every portable AC. I ran the SLACHT128 for 2 weeks through a heat wave, logging room temps, humidity, power draw, and noise in real-world conditions. The results were not what I expected in both good and frustrating ways. Before we dive into what I discovered, if you are already leaning toward the SLACHT128 and want the best current price, I've got a link below. But don't click away yet because a couple of setup tweaks can be the difference between meh and wow with this unit. Here is why I even bought this. I work out of a small upstairs office with west-facing windows. By 3 p.m., it's an oven. Landlord won't allow window units, and my last 2 budget portables were loud, leaky, and barely cooled beyond arm's reach. Sleep, forget it. I picked up the SereneLife SLACHT128 because it promised 4-in-1 functionality: cooling, dehumidifying, fan, and heat. That heat mode tempted me for spring and fall mornings, and the form factor looked apartment-friendly. I was skeptical though. I've been burned by inflated BTU numbers before, and honestly I thought the single hose design would doom it to the same negative pressure issues I've seen countless times. Still, hope beats heat. I committed to a proper test: bedroom at night, office during peak sun, open living space on a 90+ day, and a rainy dehumidifier day. Watt meter on the plug, decibel meter on the phone, and a hygrometer on the shelf. Scenario 1, the 12x12 bedroom. Starting at 88 degrees F after sunset, I sealed the included window kit, straightened the exhaust hose, and hit cool at 68 degrees F. In 35 minutes, the room dropped to 74 degrees F, humidity fell from 63% to 51%, and noise measured 56-58 dB at 3 feet on low fan, 60-62 dB on high. Not whisper quiet, but a steady whoosh that faded into background after 10 minutes. Sleep mode softened the compressor ramp-ups and I could actually rest. But then came the first snag. In humid conditions, the self-evaporative system still needed occasional draining. Not a deal-breaker, just plan for a quick hose drain if your air is swampy. Scenario 2, my 16x18 living area open to a small kitchen. Outside hit 92 degrees F. Starting at 86 degrees F indoors, it pulled down to 77-78 degrees F after about 90 minutes. That's decent, but here's the catch. Because it's a single hose design, it creates negative pressure that pulls warm air from adjacent rooms. I noticed warm air sneaking under the hallway door, but then I tightened the window kit with weatherstrip foam, covered tiny gaps with tape, and shifted the unit 12 inches closer to the window to reduce hose heat. Immediately better, the temperature fell faster and the compressor cycled less. If you do nothing else, seal the window kit and keep the hose as straight and short as possible. Scenario 3, dehumidifier duty on a rainy morning. I switched to dry mode in that same living space. Over 2 hours, humidity dropped from 68% to 50%. The room felt significantly cooler even without a big temperature change. Here's where it gets interesting. For sustained dehumidifying, you'll want to use the continuous drain port instead of relying on the internal reservoir, especially in very humid climates. That keeps it running without interruptions. Scenario 4. Heat mode in the bedroom. I started at 59 degrees F on a chilly morning. In about an hour, the room reached 69 degrees F. It works as a supplemental heater for smaller rooms, not a whole home solution. It does draw a solid chunk of power and the fan is audible, so plan for similar noise to cooling mode. Still, for shoulder seasons, it's genuinely useful. Installation and usability notes. The included window kit is basic and fits most vertical or horizontal sliders, but expect to add foam for a truly tight seal. The remote is straightforward, the digital panel is responsive, and the 24-hour timer plus sleep mode are actually practical. The washable filter is easy to pop out, clean it monthly. The unit rolls easily, but remember, every extra bend or extra foot in the hose hurts performance. I also wrapped the exhaust hose with inexpensive insulation to keep radiant heat from rewarming the room. That alone shaved a couple of degrees off my time to target in the office. Here is the big revelation. The headline 12,000 BTU, that's the older ASHRAE rating, does not reflect real-world cooling capacity. The effective DOE SACC is typically lower on single-hose units in this class, often in the 6,000–7,000 BTU range. That's why it crushed the bedroom and office but struggled to dominate the open plan until I optimized sealing and hose heat. After dialing those in, it behaved like a competent mid-size room cooler. I put in the time, 2 weeks of daily logs, 4 test spaces, and a lot of fiddling. Compared to a premium dual hose like the Medea Duo or a winter dual hose, the SLACHT128 will still lose in raw efficiency and speed in larger spaces. But those cost more and are bulkier. The SereneLife fights back with a lighter, simpler package, legit dehumidifying, and that handy heat mode for the price. If you expect silent performance or instant 10-degree drops in a big, open area, it will disappoint. If you right-size it and seal it, it delivers. Now that you know the setup tricks that unlock this unit's real performance, you'll want to snag it before the next heat wave spikes prices and stock vanishes. I've linked the best current deal in the description. Grab it there and then come back for my hose insulation and sealing tips. Bottom line, the SereneLife SLACHT128 is a solid single-hose portable AC for bedrooms, home offices, and smaller living rooms with a bonus heat mode that actually helps in shoulder seasons. If you're a renter, have slider windows, and can commit to sealing the window kit and keeping the hose short and insulated, this is a smart buy. If you've got a big, open-concept space or you want near-silent operation, spend more for a dual hose. For everyone else, it's not just about the BTUs, it's about the setup. Get that right and this little box punches above its weight.